There it is.
Oh, we out?
We in that. What you talking about?
They don't wanna change, I don't wanna stay the same. There's no wrong or right, choose a side, play the game. They don't wanna change, but I don't wanna stay the same. There's no wrong or right, choose a side, play the game. They don't wanna change.
Yo, shout out to my mom.
Shut up, Mom, dude.
She just texted me and said, I know how to shake that S. S is crazy. That's my mom, though.
That's Mom Dukes.
What we got on the song today?
Man, a little throwback Friday.
Let's go.
All
You could have went flashback, but you chose throwback. True.
a little while ago Friday.
Yeah, there you go.
Heads and tails available now everywhere.
Let's go. Today's a good day, man. Beautiful day. Yeah.
Rock a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't wanna change, I don't wanna stay the same. There's no wrong or right, choose a side, play the game.
I don't even know how to respond to that text to my mom.
Stay the same. There's no wrong or right, choose a
Like,
side.
yeah? Question mark?
They don't wanna change.
I'm afraid was like what she'll send back, right?
There's no wrong or right, choose a side.
Yeah.
There's no wrong or right.
It's like she sends a video back.
Choose a side.
All right, I think
Yeah, let's go. Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Fairly Decent Podcast. I'm your host, Jason. And as always, I got my co-host, CJ, the Prophet, in the building. What's good, C?
What up, y'all? What up?
What's good, man? How you feeling?
Good, bro. Good. I'm a little tired. It's been
Yeah.
a long week, but happy to be here as always, man.
It's Friday, Throwback Friday.
It's Friday. I'm ready to tear the town up.
City boys.
And the City Boys is up. up, bro.
Up a beam.
How you feeling, bro?
Man, I feel good, man. Yeah, this week has been a long week. With the weather turning over and stuff like that. Obviously, with my line of work, that shit gets a little crazy. But it is what it is, and I'm thankful enough to be healthy. I'm thankful enough to have an income. I'm thankful for all of the stuff that's in my life. So I really don't have any complaints. I mean, during the middle of the week, I was kind of like, man, I don't know. I wouldn't say I wasn't upset or anything, but I just for a second I was like, man, goddamn, all
just
this
that hump day shit.
Yeah, just that hump day shit. Goddamn, man, when is this when is this shit gonna break? But nah, man, I am absolutely blessed. I hope everybody out there is blessed.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all for coming back to another episode 37. Yeah, they said we would be done at 10. Here we are at 37.
Come on now. Did
Come
it
on,
three
man.
times. Almost four.
Trace on them.
Almost 4 times, man.
Yeah, man. No, but I'm feeling good. I got some good topics today. Just to keep the vibes positive.
Good. And my apologies for not having topics. I was just scatterbrained all week. So,
Bro, it's
we hold it down. But
yeah, we always hold it down. And I mean, really, if it really came down to it, topics are really just stuff that we talk about anyway. So it's not like we just sit around and think of buzzwords or shit all week. The shit that we really put up here on the topics is shit that we really just talk about anyway. So it's not
and we kind of could just press record regardless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
True.
Nah, but the first topic I did have though is man, this topic I'll be the first to admit that I jump the fence on all the time. I'm phony when it comes to this topic. Let me introduce the topic. The topic is friends versus peers. And that's a conversation that sometimes need to be had when you're dealing with people that you often see or are often, around or in the same circles or whatever, but you don't really consider them friends. So at what point do you draw the line between these are my peers and these are my friends? Because I know for me, some of the people that we even, run with up here, I would consider peers and not friends. not to say that I don't treat them with respect or I don't view them a certain way, but if it came down to it, I genuinely like think to myself, like, if I was in a situation, would this person pick up the phone?
Right.
And that's where I draw the line. Like, where do you draw the line when it comes to like friends versus peers?
I feel like it takes a lot because I just feel like my personality, or maybe even both of our personalities, like we go the friend route first. Mm-hmm. So like we just naturally like cling to people and
Sure,
just want to be there and checking on their well being and stuff like that. But it's a great topic. Actually, I was interested to see which way you were gonna go with it. But like
I said, I'm phony in this topic. I switch all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, just
like tomorrow, somebody might be my friend, and like I'm like,
that's my bro.
Yeah, that's my bro for life. Yeah, but that's our personality though. Like we're always in the camp of like looking out for people, doing like what's best for most of the time, not for us, but what's good for somebody else.
Yeah, and just like putting people before us and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like that was one of the biggest lessons I think that I was able to like attain last year is just the word boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think that was what allowed me to like differentiate. But I started realizing, just like when energy just isn't matched, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's like from the artist standpoint, like we've talked about this off mic and I'll talk about it here because I don't care. But like just the fact, like anytime I do anything creatively, I always reach out and try to bring other people on. And
I'm glad you said it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they don't do the same thing. And like,
for sure.
When it's their time to do a show, it's just them. And do what you do.
Do what you do,
it's
man.
like also not holding it against them because it's unfair to expect people to be the way you are.
Right.
Maybe they just don't know any better. So it's like, but at the same time, I had to learn. I'm just going to create my boundary. I know what our relationship is.
Yeah.
And it's pure. It may be just transactional, or when we are around, we're cool. But like, I'm not going to be speaking to you every day. You're not checking on me, like just on every day. We talk every day. Like the homies, we talk every day. But I think it was just learning the boundaries and just kind of understanding energies, and like if it's not really reciprocated, that's just kind of the basis of it.
Yeah, I think the reason that the topic came up for me was like especially in therapy and some of the stuff that I do just for myself, going to see a therapist and getting some of these thoughts that I have inside my head out. The topic of like friends comes up a lot, and like when somebody asks like what do your friends do, and I start thinking like friends, like how many friends do I actually have? Like my friends I would consider family.
Right.
So like I would say zero. I really don't have any friends. I have family, and then I have acquaintances or peers. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why this topic got brought up, because people get asked a lot of time like, oh, your friend so-and-so. And like, I'm quick to be like, yeah, that's my friend.
Yeah.
But like, do I really feel that way? Like, do I really feel like that person's my friend? Or do I just see them when I see them and I treat them with respect like I do everybody else? Yeah. And that's the end of it.
That word definitely gets tricky.
Very, very
especially,
tricky.
I guess, the older we get. And then there's like this stigma. I see it all the time. Like, men aren't allowed to have best friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I see that narrative. It's like, you don't have best friends. So like, just a friend and best friend, like, it's just a weird, like, to me, I consider family. Like, I have my, my core people, and they're just family to me. Like, we know what it is. Even if we don't talk for 2 weeks, a month, if we're around each other, it's like, we pick right back up.
And I think that's where, like, that is definitely where the line, I guess, gets created, is like, even if you don't talk to somebody for 3 months, 2 months, 2 weeks, 5 years, when you have that relationship, like, I'll use Greg as an example. Mm-hmm. Like, me and Greg hardly ever talk.
Right.
But if me and Greg were in the same room, that's my family.
Yeah.
That's always my, even though he's in New York and he's doing his thing and whatever, and we rarely ever talk, if somebody were to ask me, that's not my friend, that's my family.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
so
that energy is like, it's definitely like understood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, you don't even have to like speak on it when you're around. Like, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a topic that I think that we need to like revisit every now and then, just to, like I said, because I jump this fence all the time of like who I consider friends and who I consider peers. And again, I use a lot of people up here for an example. And if you're watching this, sorry, I'm not talking about you. So if you think I'm talking about you, I'm sorry, but I'm not talking about you. I'm just using a broad scale of people, that because we meet a lot of people and we deal with a lot of people. And we're in a lot of different circles and a lot of different rooms with a lot of different people. So it would be a disservice to the word friend or friendship if I would just consider everybody a friend. You know what I mean? Like there's no exclusivity or whatever the word is.
For sure, yeah. It just doesn't really hold as much value, you know. It's like saying friend just to say it. But I feel that way about a lot of people up here too, honestly. And then again, like the phonies, like when I'm around them, it's like, yo, what's up? You know, but like outside of that, and I leave, it's just like, bro.
Yeah.
But I think it's still important to even have energy like that. Like, like the peers, like to have people when you link up and you can, you know, turn up together or whatever and just laugh together. And, you know, that's still important because a lot of people don't even have that. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't have anything, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people just literally have themselves. And I feel bad for those people because as much as like everybody's like, oh, I can do this shit by myself. I can do X, Y, and Z. And I don't need to, like, bro, you need people in your life, man. Yeah. You really, really need people in your life. So that whole like tough guy mentality of like, I can do this shit by myself. Fuck all y'all. I don't need anybody. Like, okay, but like, to what extent?
Yeah.
Like,
because when you're by yourself,
when you're by yourself,
like, you know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And you're on your phone scrolling, and you see a bunch of people together. Like you know what you're feeling. Like, all that machismo skits and that whole personality, like we can do away with.
We can do away with that, man. Men have feelings.
Yeah, right.
Men have feelings. I shouldn't have to say that, but like, it's one of those things. Like, yo, stop being so fucking tough, man. Right. Have feelings. Cry. Like. Do everything that a human is supposed to do. Like, God damn.
Feel all of that shit.
But I put this next thing on there, and you were kind of struggling. You said
I was just like going through my whole life, like damn, like kind of, you know.
Because I actually struggle with this too, but it was crazy because this is a topic that I wanted to bring up a long time ago, but I didn't have the answer. Right. So I was like, how do I bring up this topic? And then we just fucking waffle for like 5 minutes about absolutely nothing. But yeah, it's actually a question that my therapist asked me when I very first started doing therapy outside of the hospital. And it was weird because when she asked me, I was like, you're my therapist. Like, shouldn't you be giving me the answer? Like, shouldn't you be giving me the answer? And like, again, you have to remember, like, therapists are people too, and like they have problems and feelings and emotions just like everybody else. So like they're just trying to help you along your journey. But the question was like, what's the best advice you've ever received?
Yeah, I think the answer I'm gonna go with, it kind of goes off of the last topic, and it was around the time I was starting Hero Villain, and my mother, she sat me down because she saw like stuff was taking off very fast, and like we were taking it very serious. And I know my parents were probably like, yo, what? Like he seems really serious about what's going on right now. So I remember all of my friends were over there at the house, and my mom pulled me out back and was like, before y'all move forward, make sure you separate the business from the friends. Make sure you put everything in writing, notate everything, all your plans, notate it all. And me being a kid, I was like, Mom, fuck off. Like, these are my homies. Like, we gonna ride for this. You know what's up? Like, you know, like, we eat dollar menu items together and we struggle. Like, these are the homies. Yeah. And I remember, like shrugging my mom off. And my mom, she told me, like, 5 times. She's like, I'm telling you. And I'm, you know, it was just a kid.
Of course.
So
you know everything when you're a kid.
Yeah. And I was like, Mom, we about to blow up. Yeah. Get popping, get all the bitches and shit. And eventually it blew up in my face. And I had nothing to show for it. And that was probably, so since then, that's why I'm very like notative about everything I do. Like I want to make sure everything's planned out and there's an understanding. Yeah. Even like the way we approach everything here. Like,
did you ever go back and be like, Mom, you were right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You did? Was she ever like...
She just gave me that look.
Yeah, like...
She was like... I was like, all right, Mom. Okay.
That sucks,
she was
man.
right. And it was solid advice for a parent to give, you know, in that aspect. Because that means she respected so much of what I was doing. And she believed in me that much that she didn't want to see what happened. Yeah. You know, happen. So... I think that might have been the best advice, especially at the age that I was at, to be that young. Sure. And not understand it at that time. And she probably knew I wasn't going to understand it. But when I came around to learn that lesson, I was supposed to learn it at the right time.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that's probably the best advice.
Which is great advice.
I mean, it really was.
It sounds like cliche, and a lot of the shit that like when you ask this question, 99% of the answers are like cliche. But like when you actually like decipher and like really dissect like each piece of advice, is like, yeah, I mean, it sounds like no duh, but like when you're in the moment, sometimes it's just shit you don't think about. Like you said, like these are my homies. Like it doesn't matter. Like we're gonna be buried in the same grave. It doesn't matter. Like we're all gonna die on this shit together, and that's just not always the case. I
listen to what you're saying. Like
like. Mom, we're selling T-shirts and we're making bread. Exactly. Like all that shit you're talking about is not even on my radar.
And not even understanding the scale of how big business can get.
Yeah.
We think we're making money off
the neighborhood.
But like really, if you want to take it there, like this shit better be separated between business and friendship.
Like splits and like
everything.
That whole mindset, like when we're that age though, is like what? Yeah. It's not like. Of course, you could take the advice, but you're not even mature enough to know like what they're even talking about to even like use the advice, because like you don't even think about like splits or you don't think about like who owns what and like all that stuff. You're like
taxes and
like,
everything.
It's like, Mom, we have a clothing brand and we selling right now. That's it.
And we had the business license already. Like we went to the place to get. I'm like, bro, we already got our business license. You can't tell me nothing. Like
we are a full blown business.
Like what?
Yeah. Till the taxes roll around, it's like nah, we're not in business.
We're not even friends no more at this point.
Yeah. By the time the tax roll around, we're not even talking. That's crazy. No, I think for me, I mean, again, we could probably spend a whole episode like talking about like just advice that we've received, but I think damn, I guess I gotta get a little personal, but like, growing up, my sister was like the head of like everything, top of her class, straight A's, like cheerleader, homecoming queen, like anything that you could attribute to like being popular and like successful and achievement wise, my sister was that. And so I kind of always lived in this shadow of like fuck, like how do I even compare like to the situation? And I remember it was the day that I decided I didn't want to play soccer anymore. And if anybody knows me, like I was on my way, I was out of here on the soccer tip, and I just got burnt out, and I felt really bad. Not only to myself, but, to my teammates, to my coach, to my parents. I felt really bad about it. And, I actually stuck with it longer than I wanted to, because I didn't want to, disappoint people and let people down. And I always felt like I had to live in this space of, like what my sister was doing, because we also went to the same schools. So we had like mostly the same teachers, so that like when I would get into class, it'd be like, oh yeah, like, oh, you're Jessica's brother. Like I wasn't Jason, right? I was Jessica's brother. Yeah. So like I had to live in that shadow like for my entire life. And like I said, I think it was like one of the days that I decided like I really didn't want to do. I wanted to do my own thing, because I was doing a lot of stuff for other people, because that's what they wanted me to do. I was I was good at it. I was successful at it. I liked doing it, but it just wasn't in my path. And, my mom sat me down. It's always the moms. Shout out the moms.
Word. They be knowing.
Yeah. They be knowing. Shaking that ass. Yeah. But, she sat me down, and she was like, no matter what you do in life, we're always going to love you. That's never going to change. But you have to live in what you love, and you have to be true to yourself. And no matter what you do, I don't care what you do, as long as you were like true to yourself, you're not trying to be somebody else, you're not trying to do anything because somebody else is doing it, and not doing it because you're like, again, brought it back to my sister. Stop trying to do stuff just because your sister did it. Like your story is your story, and like it doesn't have to be in, like I said, the shadows of your sister. It can be its own story. So I think that advice for me was like the breaking point of, like everybody has their own story, and not everybody's story is the same. And just be true to yourself. And I think from that day forward, that's when I started to pick up music, and that's when I started to do all of the things that I loved outside of what I was doing. But I never really thought of it as like I can actually do this stuff. Yeah. It was more just like a thought of like, oh yeah, this is like very cool, and I love this shit, but I have to do this. Right. Like But yeah, so that like that piece of advice, man, like really changed my life, and some of it for the good and some of it for the bad. I mean, because when I went through my like real like alcohol like binge, I used the same advice. Like, this is my story. This isn't anybody else's. This is my story, and this is what I do. And guess what? Like, so every piece of advice, I would encourage everybody to look at the other side of the coin too, because it's one of those things, especially good advice is one of those things that can like, it can help you out greatly, and it can also, you know, the other side of the coin is always it can be very manipulated. And but yeah, I think that advice for me was probably the best advice I've ever had. It's like, you know, just be true to yourself. Yeah. Like, don't do anything because somebody else is doing it. Just do what you love to do. And again, at the end of the day, that's your story. Right.
Especially when you have a sibling. You know what I mean? Like, we both have siblings, so I wonder what it looks like if you don't have siblings, and like how that is. Like, maybe compare yourselves to like peers or friends, and maybe the same advice still sticks. I'm just thinking from like a single child or whatever. Like, with no siblings, but that is powerful though. Yeah.
I mean, just breaking off of that, like, was Jacob the same way?
Jacob was more on your scope of things.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And I remember when he
was CJ's brother.
Yeah, and I think it was like when he first got to Woodside, so I was gone at that point.
Right.
But it was like, you're CJ's brother. He did the drum line his freshman year, so he was like, I remember watching him, like, when he made a definitive statement of saying like, yo, I'm quitting drumline, and my dad was like, what? And he stood on it, and he had the grades. That was a difference too. Jacob was book smart, like he had all A's, and I didn't have that. I was just you know whatever.
Average. Yeah, same as me.
And I mean, I just was lazy, really. I just didn't apply. I was just I didn't care about it. But I remember he made that definitive point to be like, yo, I don't want to live CJ's story. I don't want to be CJ's brother. I'm quitting drumline. I want to do this, and he stood on it. And I remember that happening, and he taught me something in that moment. You know what I mean? Because I felt like, maybe for me, I was in my dad's shadow. Yeah. So like, I just didn't go against the grain, and I kind of went with it. So to see him do that, I kind of learned from him in that aspect too. But he definitely went through the same thing, and I remember he hated it because he got to Woodside. I was like, no, I'm Jacob. Like, I'm not CJ's brother. He's gone now. Like, no, but
like, that was always the craziest thing. Is like, especially in school, like when you go to class and the teacher's like, you know, like first day they start reading off names. Yeah. And they're like, Jason Peters. They're like, oh, you're Jessica's brother. And I'm like, by default, yes. Yeah. But I'm Jason. Right. And so like, I'm not trying to live under like Jessica's like little brother type mentality. But yeah, I mean, again, that advice of like live your own story, I'm going to take that with me all the way till the day I die, whenever that day is. I'm just going to be true to myself and true to my own story. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Comes with good, comes with bad.
Oh, that's powerful. That's powerful.
I don't know. I wrote, all right. Next topic. I wrote this up here because I know what mine is.
Right.
I might incriminate myself, but it's fine.
Let's do it. Let's wake it up.
That's fine. Yo, so the next topic we had, this is totally, again, we're just taking the car and we're just hanging a hard left. We're just podding at this point.
We're swerving on the corner.
Yeah, we're just. Ooh. Wait. What exactly does that mean, swerve on the corner?
It's like, you know, when you get to a corner.
No, we're just taking a hard left here. And again, we're just podding. This is shit we just talk about anyway. Yeah. So we figured, like, why not just pod about it? What's the worst job you ever had?
Oh, man. I haven't had many jobs, to be honest with you. I really haven't. I think maybe I haven't had any, like, shit jobs. Yeah. Like, it was no, like, shit jobs, but the worst one I probably had was when I was doing landscaping for the school system.
Trash.
Yeah, and that's the only reason it was so bad, because I learned that I was allergic to like cut grass and all that type of stuff. So like I had like a really bad allergic reaction, and I never went back to it. But like,
how long did you stay there?
I think I was there for like maybe 2 months. Maybe at that. But that was probably the most like gruesome job I had, like as far as it compares to other jobs. But I didn't really have any like shit jobs. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Nah, you had the best job for a while.
Which one?
The one at the outlets.
Oh yeah.
He was the plug daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was That was.
Those were good days.
That was really great. Yeah. So much clothes that I got from the outlet. Shout out to the outlet.
Shout out to the
Like
outlets.
my first job was at FYE. Like
In the mall?
Yeah.
Damn.
So my first job was like at a music store.
Yeah.
It was great. Then I worked at outlets and then Busch Gardens. So like
Yeah, the Bush days was all right,
Yeah,
too.
it was
Them
lit.
checks was hitting back in the day.
I was making way too much money at that age. Like
That was like, what, 16, 17?
yeah, I went there late. So it was I think I started working there when I moved in with Hilario and them.
Oh, okay.
So I was like 19 or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Them
But I
days.
haven't had any like I think the landscaping one just because it was like I guess like hard labor and being outside and cutting grass and getting dirty.
Yeah.
And we would be there by like 6 a.m. and then
Yeah.
everyone there was like idiots that I worked with.
And y'all are like, I remember I know the trucks, and like
Yeah.
y'all used to cram like 8
Yeah.
people in them like 4-person trucks, just
For
like
sure.
crammed in that bitch like
Somebody
like
was
prisoners,
like arguing every day, just a bunch of ego and
smoking cigs with the windows up and shit.
right, in the truck.
Yeah, no, mine. Like I said, I don't want to incriminate myself, but I might incriminate myself. But
Allegedly.
allegedly in Minecraft, my dad was the one of the head guys for driver's education for the Newport News public school system. And he was under a dude, Dick Tyson. And when it was definitely before I had my license.
Is this when you worked with Dan Quay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But it was before. I don't know if Dan Quay started working there after or before.
Right.
But before I had my license, I was working behind the wheel
That's crazy.
for Newport News Public Schools. I didn't do any of like the road stuff, but I did the behind the wheel, like where they used to do behind Todd Stadium. They had like the whatever you want to call it, like the range or like the little cone course. Yeah, the little cone course. And I was in the passenger seat with a brake on my side.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. And like, bro, when I tell you, like, I have seen some of the worst drivers like of all time, like almost getting in crashes like off the road. So like on the road, like, I don't even like want to know, but like,
Right.
dude,
Could you imagine?
yeah, like going there like after school and like literally like putting my life at risk every single day with like people who have no business being behind the wheel.
Right.
I don't even have like any business being on this
credentials
side.
to-
Yeah, I don't even have the licensing proper to like be teaching this stuff. But yeah, that was the worst job I ever had, man. Every single day I was like, I'm definitely gonna die today.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm definitely
This is
going
the
to
day.
die. And I've worked some real shit jobs. Like I've done landscaping.
Yeah.
Like I've done all that shit. But that driver's ed job was absolutely the fucking worst, man.
I can only imagine, bro. I would be like panicking every day.
Yeah, and
'Cause
like
you're not really in control.
you're
I
not-
guess you can break. or whatever.
yeah, but like braking doesn't stop like the
Right.
like
The
left,
direction.
yeah, the left and right. Like you can slam on the brakes, but like
Yeah.
if they're smashing the gas and like, bro, my god,
That's sketchy.
that is it was
Especially as a
so
teenager, that's
sketchy, bro.
sketchy.
It's a teenager and like after school, so like I'm already like fuck school. I was always like fuck school, but like again, very smart, just didn't apply myself, but
Yeah.
whatever. But like after school, I was like, all right, now I'm gonna go die. Like that was like my day for like an entire year. I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go die today. And then I ended up getting my license. And then Andy Alfred came and worked there too. And then it was great because
Right.
something switched. Like when I got my license, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is fine. Like
Yeah.
all this stuff, like I'm licensed to drive. Like all this
I
shit
guess-
is fine.
I'm sure it took away a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, for sure.
Away from like crazy drivers, but at least like that little bit of anxiety probably eased up.
Yeah, because like I feel like every little kid has like that story where they like their parents like kind of let them drive. Like and I never
Yeah.
had that.
Yeah, me neither.
Like there's no shot my dad would ever let me do that. Like
I didn't even get my license until 19. Like,
For
I
real?
was- yeah, I wasn't driving like at all until
I didn't know that.
19, Yeah.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Cause like at 18, I went to Thomas Nelson. Then I moved to New York, so I was like taking trains and stuff. Like
True.
I never really. Then when I moved back here is when I got my license, but I just never really needed it. And then my dad worked at my high school, so I would ride with him to school.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we didn't need it, and it's not like we couldn't afford for me to get a car. So it was like
Yeah.
there was just no real point in me even having it at that time.
I mean,
was,
fair
I
play.
was super late to driving and all that.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get my shit, bro. Like, I just felt like when I got my license, I was gonna like fucking drive to California or some shit, and like literally just like going to like Food Lion was like the best thing ever.
Right, just run into the store.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I'm grown now. You can't tell me shit. Like, I would literally get in a car and drive away. Like,
I mean, I was I was driving. I wasn't supposed to.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's incriminate ourselves even more on this podcast. This
I think I told my parents about
small platform that we have.
I think I told them. Like when they would go out of town, I'm in that joint. Going to the mall, everything. Like no business. Cause I imagine if I got pulled over
or in an accident.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh, that would have been even worse.
Because
worse than getting pulled over. Like
worse, way worse.
Like,
because I wouldn't even like. I've never been in an accident before, but at least I know now what to do. Like as like a 16-year-old kid, I'm like, what do I even do? Like,
bro, somebody stole the car. Mom, someone stole the car. I don't know how it happened.
Because like even to this day, like like if you ever get pulled over, they're like license, registration, and all this shit. I'm like, yo, I don't even know like where this shit is half the time. Like
for sure,
I know I have it somewhere, but like as a 16-year-old, I don't know like what are you talking about? License? Like nah, just look me up somewhere because I don't know where none of this stuff
Burger
is.
King bags all in this. That's it.
In the Burger King bag, the dead ass though. Like that's real shit.
Oh, that's cool though.
You want to talk about it?
I mean, we could touch on it. The next topic we were bringing up is we just put the list up there, and
if you don't want to talk about it,
no, we can. It's just I guess I'm trying to like formulate it to where it's like a bigger message than just like this direct thing. Yeah. But so recently Richmond put out a list and they do it every year and it's like the top artists in every genre.
Well, let's backtrack.
What's that?
Who put the list out?
Oh, RVA MAG.
Okay, so not Richmond.
But I wasn't trying to name them.
Yeah. No, I will. RVA MAG.
Yeah.
RVA MAG.
Yeah. It's a platform out here in Richmond and they do it every year. And they do like all the genres and all the local artists or whatever. And a lot of the homies are on there, but a lot of people are not on there as well. And it's just like, to me, it's just nerve wracking because like people are just like, they can just make themselves like, and I don't know their history. They may be journalists. I don't know. But to me, it's just shit job of, I mean, I don't know. They could be just maybe not in this field of, hip hop or XYZ, whatever the case may be. But
that's true.
But like, a lot of names were left off of it. My name to be included that was left off of that list. And like, I'm not mad that I'm not on that list because that's not what I do this for.
Never.
But at the same time, it's like, yo, you got to do your due diligence. Like there's a few names that was very, very like hard working throughout the year last year and did a lot of stuff. And like me personally, I did a lot of community events, which is like what I do every year.
Yeah. Anyway,
and then maybe they don't look at that because that has nothing to do with music, whatever. But like,
I guess that's my main question. What was the criteria?
Yeah, it's probably in there somewhere. I just didn't read it. But regardless, I know how much music I put out, and some other homies put out, and I know how many shows I did, and like the impact a lot of songs that me and Profound did had on the city.
Yeah.
And it's left off. But the bigger picture here is like, yo, like these journalists are just it's lame. Like we can just go on Instagram
it's embarrassing
and like call ourselves this and that without having to do like the full work on things. And it's like it's very underselling and it's like it's unsettling at the same time because no, we don't do it for lists, but like to be recognized at the same time when there are the reason it's bad journalism because there are artists up there who like haven't made music in years, and a lot of those are my homies. And
for sure,
I don't mean that in like an ill way. It's just like, yo, they have not made music in years.
I mean, it's one of those things that's like, okay, like congratulations, but like you got to throw a but on the end. Like, wait, but like, what? Why? And again, I guess I need to do my due diligence and like go see what the criteria is. I didn't see any sort of criteria. So, I mean, this list just kind of looks like it was
like a JPEG file. And
JPEG file on a note on an iPhone. And it looks like people who just may be more active on the internet is kind of what it looked like to me. I could be very wrong in that take, but I'm here to be wrong. I'm here to be right. I'm here to be all of it. I'm here to be an open book. And I know CJ probably didn't want to talk about it as much as I did because again, I'll die on this hill if CJ won't. And it's not his business to.
Or not even like my fight. Like,
it's not even. It's in my DNA. It's not in his DNA. It's in mine though to stand up for somebody that I believe in, somebody that I believe puts out much more quality music than I would say probably 99% of the people that I know personally. I think it's a disservice to the city of Richmond I mean, I could go on. Like, I'm genuinely disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you can see it, I'm genuinely like disgusted
Yeah.
in this list because it just makes no fucking sense. Like, if somebody from RVA MAG, if you want to reach out to anybody, reach out to me and like let me know like what the criteria was, and maybe I'll like take some of this stuff back, or you know, or I might just push my shit even further and be like, okay, but why was so and so left off the list?
Right.
Why was so and so left off? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that were left off that list. It's just not CJ. Like, let's not get it twisted. It was not just CJ that was left off the list. But yeah, it's embarrassing. It's really, really, really embarrassing to even put your name on something like that. Again, congratulations to everybody who made that list.
For sure.
This is not what this is about.
Right.
This is about RVA MAG and RVA MAG solely. The journalism that they're putting out in terms of, you know, what's actually outside. Like I said, I think this list was put together based off like internet presence, which is fine, cool.
For sure.
But yeah, man, y'all got it wrong. You dropped the ball. It's embarrassing. I would like to speak to somebody from there. I would like to, moving forward, make sure that the right people are represented, so that if you continue to do stuff like this, that it looks good for the city of Richmond. And I'm not even from Richmond. I could give a fuck. I could give a fuck, but it's just like, I spend enough time here, and like some of the people that are on the list, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even, which is fine, cool. RVA Meg, you did it wrong. It's embarrassing. And that's
that one up for
that's
sure.
that's where I'm going to leave that. But yeah, moving forward, hopefully we're going to shoot a podcast at least every week. That's the goal right now. We're slowly getting towards that. Last year, you know, we talked about it and we got closer. We're getting closer every single week. We're getting closer to being on this schedule, on this regiment of putting out a podcast every week. It feels good to be able to come here and get our thoughts out and talk about some of the stuff that we talk about off mic, on mic.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody again always for coming back and tuning in. All the people who leave comments, everybody in the Discord, everybody that, you know, takes the half hour or 45 minutes out of their day to listen to us drop some real gems, because that's what we do here. We drop actual gems. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're an old listener, thank you. CJ, you got anything else?
Nah, man. I hope everybody, you know, has a good week.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's been a pleasure being here. You know, I share the same sentiments. So, you know, hopefully we can keep this going, and, you know, y'all tune into the next episode.
For sure.
You know, we'll keep doing what we do, and y'all, you know, stay locked in.
That's right. It's the Fairly Decent Podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm CJ.
That's it. Peace.
Peace.
City Boys is up by 1,000.
I don't wanna hurt nobody.